What's up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Chitose Is in the Ramune Bottle, this time with episode 3. As much as I really didn't like that first episode, I very much kind of swung around the second episode. I actually liked it quite a bit. Jesus. Oh, that's loud. Yeah, second episode was actually pretty good, I think. They actually used what the first episode set up in an interesting way, I think. Don't get me wrong, I'm still not a major fan of like the main character or anything. Never will be. But I liked how they kind of used him and his effect on this I said weeaboo. this otaku. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this third episode in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And I still absolutely agree with the fact that this opening is probably one of the best of the season as well, for sure. I just don't know what it is. The song is just awesome, isn't it? Oh yeah. I need to figure out who the artist is. I've listened to the song my own time, but it's uploaded from somebody else. So yeah, I need to check out this artist. I'm not sure I've heard any of her songs before, but I really like the style. Lovely partner. Is this a gym or something? A shop. Oh, he's looking pretty good, isn't he? Very different. Right. Guess his weight loss is bloody hell. This is that same kid, right? He's lost a lot of weight very quickly, hasn't he? He's been on that Ozempic. Man, that Ozempic stuff is scary, isn't it? I don't know much about it, but anything that can affect your body like that is surely very scary, right? Like, surely. Like when you think of steroids, that's almost like the same thing but in reverse. Obviously, it doesn't have fat, but yeah, and obviously there's a lot of dangers to that. So it's like surely there would be to this stuff. Indeed, he looks like a totally different person almost, doesn't he? What I will say is, you usually find with bigger people when they do slim down, when they go to the gym, uh, they're actually really good at transforming that fat and such into muscle, into fuel to burn into their muscles. So they usually come out looking pretty like jacked and ripped. And he doesn't look that way, of course, but he is quite young. But yeah, it's actually like, I think it's a lot easier to build muscle and get fit from being just overweight. Obviously, if you're extremely overweight, it's incredibly difficult, I'd assume. But yeah, it's much easier kind of building that than if you were like incredibly skinny trying to gain weight. So that's a bit of, if anyone is like slightly large, I think it's like it's even more enticing that the fact that you can actually look like you've got a really like solid build. Like, it's more than just getting slim, you're actually going to get extremely fit and muscular as well. So a little bit of extra incentive there. Yeah, perfect timing, hey? You lose one game and you quit. It's pretty sad. Clout chaser. Surely that didn't say that in Japanese. Is there Japanese the clout chaser? Probably something similar. Popularity wanter or something. But yeah, one. Ow. Two, I can't imagine that's accurate. I can't imagine they say. I imagine that they've took some creative liberties with the subtitles there, and sometimes I like that. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Here, I feel like probably doesn't make sense. Try and add a little bit of spice where spice isn't really necessary. That's the annoying thing to me. It's like it's cool sometimes, but who are you as the person translating to change the characters and what they say? Slight dig at the subtitles. Nothing wrong with the episode, of course, but yeah, some people that do the subtitles, it's a little bit annoying when they do that, especially when you can hear what they say in Japanese. I said this about Medalist, but I hate when they use the subtitles for the dub over the sub, and it's just totally different. Are you still holding him like that? A weird guy. Sonic. I guess it'd be Shadow. Shadow the Hedgehog right there. Yeah, I think that's the best way, isn't it? Try to ignore it as much as possible, which is an impossible task, but you gotta try. What I will say is we haven't really had too much of a focus on the girls. I was expecting a bit more from them. I don't really. I feel like they're all kind of like poured into one. If you know what I'm saying, I can't really tell too much apart from each of them so far. Really? They have. You have to. I think that sucks. I like that movie they released over the weekend that had a screening for purely bald people. Which I saw I saw a picture of the screening and people bloody cheated wearing bald caps. That's no fun. I would like to see how that would be for like. I don't know how if that movie is good or not, but I'd like to see that. If imagine if it was like a GTA 6 and it was like to be able to get this a week early, you've got to shave your head. I wonder what percentage of people would do it. Probably quite a lot. As you can tell, though, there's no females in the in that screening I was talking about. Not one. You could say that. He was put under a lot of pressure. Revenge match. Someday. We're gonna cash that in. Did you put that any more of a pompous way? Like, come on. So this episode is much more in line with episode 1 so far, isn't it? As I said, I feel like the girls, it's really hard to separate them all. Like, their personalities are all very similar. They've all got similar things they do. We've seen a couple of them kind of work out and exercise with him, and they're all just kind of blended into one. True. This one did. They're all so up front, aren't they? All these girls are so up front. As I said, like they've all got a lot in common. Like it really is really hard to tell them apart. They all like sports and exercise, and they're all quite outgoing. They're all quite brazen with asking them out and being very upfront with how they feel. They're all good at like giving advice. Like they've all like this. How do you guys tell these girls apart from their hair color so far? Can any of you guys list any personality traits of each of them that are separate from each other? I'd be quite interested to read. I imagine it'd be quite a small list, unless you read the source material. I do imagine that will be something. I mean, it is only episode 3, and we really haven't had a major look into any of the girls, but I do imagine that is something that probably will get. There will be more of a gap between all the girls and differences between them as we do progress through the season. But like I said, so far they're all essentially the same person to me. Good, good. That's a good thing. It's an admirable thing, I think. penalty game. An embarrassing day. I think he called him God there. He said Cammy. Oh, we're playing football? This isn't really the best thing to do, is it? Like, as a penalty game. Football gets very competitive, don't get me wrong. I had an injury the last couple of weeks, fucking people. But I'm saying that because this isn't like a one-on-one 2v2 type game. This is a team game. You need your whole team to be as one. And like, what if they've just got this insanely cracked player that has nothing to do with their penalty game? It's probably not the best choice, but beggars can't be choosers. I guess this is the sport we're doing on this day. I've literally got football training in about a couple of hours, so I'll try to take some tips down when I'm playing. I can't imagine. You know, I've seen some really good bigger players. To be fair, they're usually really good because you can't get around them, and they're so strong on the ball. So being bigger is actually not too much of a disadvantage. Yes, you probably can't run as far or as fast, but that's the kind of payoff. What was that challenge? You know what? I don't blame him for that. Not even gonna laugh at that. That bobbled. I did jump up just before he was about to kick it. I think everybody's had one of those every now and then. Yeah, don't mind indeed. That's like that happens all the time. That happens with professionals. Home run. Yeah, what? Yeah, it did kind of look. To be fair, yeah, even if he did make contact, it did kind of look like he was going to boot it out either way. But yeah, don't keep that one on your mind. That's one of the hardest things about football. Not keeping a mistake or something on your mind and making it affect you. This is also something I've experienced, especially at school when you do have a very mixed ability of people. I find it really annoying. I've not got great vision, so I trust like when I do look up, I do try and like I don't care for who it is as long as the person is on my team in the same color as me. I'll pass to anyone. But I have experienced, especially when you're younger and especially at school and such, they'll specifically not try and pass it to the worst people because they think that they'll end up kind of messing up the play or doing poorly. So they just like avoid passing it to them. I've always really hated that. I've always thought like, again, it's a team sport. You should rely on everyone, even if people are not. Some people are better than others. Should yeah, it's just I'd say I'm quite a judgmental person anyway, but that is like extremely. I don't know. I really don't like that kind of stuff, especially when I see it in adult football, which you do every now and then, a lot less often than in school, but I still see that to this day, and it's even more annoying. Like you're fucking grown up. He's gonna score a lovely scorpion kick. They're good in practicing. Yeah, I'm fucking out 8-1 already. Jesus, it's gonna be quite some comeback. 8 goals in a game is quite rare unless you're absolutely terrible. Kickoff glitch. Let's go, Kenta. So yeah, when I started, I was horrible at football. I started when I was like 12 or 13, so quite a bit later than everybody else. I was horrible. But I learned a lot in a short amount of time, between like 13, 14, 15. Good ball, good ball. Whip it in. He's gonna lay it off. He's gonna do a gooty. Good touch. Good touch. Oh, nice goal. Not gonna do a gooty. Okay. That was a lovely goal. I don't know if I'll be trying that on this hard ass pitch. I imagine. Oh, some celebration we got here. Yeah, this pitch looks quite tough. There's not any grass on it, so I imagine it'd quite hurt if you fell on it. So yeah, certainly wouldn't be doing any bicycle kicks. Oh, that's the end, hey? What was the final score? I mean, judging by all that we saw there, it was 8-2. They got destroyed. Well, that was definitely intentional. I mean, that was definitely intentional, wasn't it? If it wasn't, then that excuse of saying that to his face is awful. Because you wasn't talking to his face, you were talking about him behind his back. You should never talk about people out their back like that. That's another thing I said in a lot of videos, but that's like one of the things I hate the most. And it is probably even more prevalent in adult society than in like high school and stuff. Well, he just did. What are you arguing about? he just did, but again, it was intentional. So can't like actually hold it against him, but you can understand why he feels this way. I think that was just to give him another push, to be honest, wasn't it? That was good. Like, that was what coaches do sometimes. Sometimes they treat people nicely, sometimes they treat them a bit harshly and give them that kind of tough love to push them a bit further. Well, that reminds me of those videos of people that like it's like it's nice that these people like buy homeless people loads of food and stuff, but like that meme with the guy with all the cameras on his head. It's like they also like, why are they videoing it? Why do they have to put it out there like that? To gain some kind of like notability or something for doing a nice thing. Why don't you just do a nice thing? It's like it sucks to say that because they are in essence doing a really lovely thing. There's something about like recording it and like, I don't know, there's just something not so great about that. Kind of similar to that hero thing they were talking about there. So yeah, not a great episode in my opinion. I hope it's not the case where it just goes like bad episode, good episode, bad episode, good episode. But yeah, I wasn't a major fan of this one. As I said, these girls just like, there's very little to tell them apart other than the way they look and how they talk. Like, I know it's probably very subtle. I imagine there's very subtle like differences that probably be quite apparent in the light novel. But here, because it's not, what I'm trying to say is there's a lot simpler shows. You think of your like classic shonen, with very simple written characters. All of the characters are very easily told apart because there's major differences between them. There's very subtle differences between the girls in this show, and that makes it quite hard for me to tell them apart so far, anyway. Like if you were blind, not that, yeah, if you were blind and you just had to listen to the episode, and the voice actor was all the same for all the girls, they'd all sound like the same character. But I mean, that kind of sounds stupid when I say it like that. But if you were to do that in a show like Nana, which I know is like a romance, is very character focused. But if you were to do that in Nana, if you had all the female characters had the same voice actress, you could still tell them apart because their lines would be so different. Whereas in this show, I think all the things the girls say are very similar to all the things the other girls say. Is the essence of the point I'm making there. The marble moon in the Ramune Bottle, that legendary thing. I think I've heard it's quite dangerous to try and get that out, right? But yeah, again, not really wasn't a massive fan of this episode again. It's just, yeah, just like I had a really good time last week's episode, and this wasn't quite as bad as the first week, but there still was like some cringe, like just feels like they're overdoing it a bit sometimes with some of the lines, and that might be intentional, but it's still just like really cringe. Again, the characters, I feel like the boys have been like, they have been really stand out. They have been very different. All of the male characters in the show, they are all very different, whereas all the women are all the same, which almost makes me sound sexist, but it just is. Like all the women are pretty much like the same character. Be interesting to. It would be ironic because I was going to say it'd be funny to figure out who wrote this. I think you can very much tell. I brought up Nana a minute ago. I think you can very much tell some of like the romance anime if they're written by a woman versus they're written by a man. Usually, I prefer the ones written by a woman, and I could probably imagine this one was written by a man. But the irony of that, I imagine it would be my luck that it probably was written by a woman. But it does feel like, again, like Blue Box, I think is written by a man, I think as well, and that feels written by a man. And just a little less nuanced. But I did like this little football segment here in the middle, to be fair. I thought that was quite fun. Nice bit of animation during that as well. And I do get behind the plan that Chitose has of like pushing him a bit further, trying to, yeah, just trying to get him to fly on his own a little bit here. It's a very it seems like a very pivotal time for Kenta, doesn't it? It feels like he could absolutely just drown and just go back to how he was right now very easily, or again just start flying and be free as a bird, which I'd love to see. But yeah, some decent moments in today's episode, but overall wasn't nearly as good as last week's in my opinion. Just a lot of dialogue for the sake of dialogue. It felt like it just feels like they could have, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy this one, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And let's hope it does go in that direction next week, so we have another good episode then. And yeah, see you guys.